Hello, it's Guy Kawasaki. I am in Watsonville, California, and I am the host of the Remarkable People podcast. And today we released a new episode. It's with Marc Benioff, the founder and former intern of Guy Kawasaki of Salesforce. So, where's Peg and where is Jeff? They are also here. So,
You're
it's
in
the three
hiding.
of us. Yeah, hear
Right.
no evil, see no evil, and edit no evil.
Right.
So, so Marc Benioff, believe it or not, I hired him in 1984 to be an intern writing assembly language programs at Apple. His goal was to write these assembly language programs so that we could send them to other developers so they would learn how to write assembly language programs. And that is Marc Benioff's checkered start in technology. And so
I love how he was a student, though. I mean, when
yeah,
he tells the backstory is really
It's really
amazing.
good.
He was a student and he was dying for this thing that you were making with Macintosh,
yep.
and he kept calling you, and you were like, "Oh, it's coming. It's definitely coming soon." And then you were finally like, "Okay, do you want a job because we need some
You're
software?"
you're
And then
you're in a
he was
pain in the
he was up.
ass. That's
Hey, you
So
know what? He was good. I mean, he was so
he
smart. He was like
he's the man.
for a 19-year-old kid to like network as well as he did. It's amazing. There's a lot of
He's
lessons to learn from Mark.
he is the man. You have to admit he is the man. And one lesson is be nice to your interns,
Yeah.
right? 'Cause
so
someday they
you
could
never
be
did
worth
say in
$10 billion.
you never did say in the interview that if he was a good intern or not. I mean, you said he was very smart and stuff,
I
but was
He
forget,
was
I forget,
great.
I can't remember, man.
was he?
Well,
He
I,
is
I
now.
I read this other article, and basically he wrote the software that you needed to do presentations because you didn't have anything. So he actually created something. He created the things that you used for demos. So he did a fantastic job. Which is part of the Blaze a Trail, the title of his book, and what he's done with his whole career. There was nothing for that computer, and he wrote the code and programs. That is
Well,
amazing,
well, Peg,
right?
that's not quite accurate, though. I have
Well,
to tell you.
so there was
Yeah,
some software.
because there was Mac Paint and Mac Write, so he
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
didn't write those.
no.
So that would be, I would say, a
Well,
little
I
exaggeration.
think another great lesson of Mark as an intern is when he got stuck, he would go ask the senior engineers at Apple.
Yep.
Like he would go to another building and ask this one guy who was brilliant, whose name I forgot.
He's Cap.
But he would go and say, "Hey, I'm stuck on this. How do I do this?" Like that is the best lesson for an
What a
intern.
concept.
Mm-hmm.
What
It
a
is. A lot of
concept.
people don't do that, I think.
Yep. 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 Yep.
So for you guys watching in the comments right now, I wanted to bring up some of those. Sharon says hi from Canada, so thank you for watching over on LinkedIn. Sharon, have you guys listened to this episode yet? This is a really, really good one, especially if you want to like have the inside baseball on Apple, because there's a lot of great stories, like Peg was saying, in there. So make sure you guys go to remarkablepeople.com, or you can just hold up your smart device here and click on this QR code, and you can go right into it. And we would love for you to leave a rating and review on your favorite podcast platform. That really helps us out and helps get the word out to other people about awesome episodes like this one. So, for our question here is our icebreaker is: have you ever forged a path in your career? Like, it sounds like he really did forge this path.
He
I mean,
did.
he had a plan and he did it and he went for it. And you who are watching with us live, are you in the middle of that? Are you doing that? Have you done that? We would love to hear from you. Peg, how about
And
you?
if you've done it really well, contact us because we're always looking for people to interview.
That's right. Awesome.
I definitely have done it before because I was so early in social media. There was stuff I wanted to do that there was no plan for. So, how to
Yeah.
do a book launch on social media, I just figured it all out. And I think I've done pretty well with those. Pretty good with book launches. What do you think, Guy?
Well, yeah, and you definitely figured out Twitter, and I mean, you knew about Canva before Canva was Canva, so yeah.
But part of that is like things that we learned together. Like I was kind of, we were always like looking for new tools and stuff. But I mean, a bigger Canva thing where I forged a path was, once we started working with Canva, how do we make Canva a thing? How do we tell people about this product slash service that we want everybody to want? And I did some research and I found, this was before everybody was using images for everything. And I found some stats, and then I created the term visual marketing to make a thing so we could tell people, hey, you need this program because you don't have to have, a fancy program. You can do it yourself. Like it was a whole little like idea of like how that can be a thing. And that worked pretty well too. So, I mean, sometimes you do, but in social media, a lot of times you have to forge a path. Which is kind of what my whole blog is about, things that I wanted to do, but then figured it out myself. Because, blogging was new. Now podcasting, I feel is totally trumped blogs. You hardly ever hear about people writing on their blog as being their main thing anymore. So now it's like a whole new thing. You got to learn how to be entertaining. You got to learn how to edit, and then it's promoting it on the back end, social media.
Do you think that TikTok will replace podcasting?
No, I think they're apples and oranges. I
Yeah.
think you have different people doing, it's a lot of younger people, and obviously every age people are on TikTok doing like hysterical things. I see the funniest stuff on TikTok all the time. But podcasting is more about like coming up with that idea and sharing the idea and diving into it in all different ways. There's obviously remarkable people interviews, but then there's people who just talk about like, true crime podcasts are so popular. Like there's just things or TV shows or like all these different things. I'm watching the Sex and the City reboot. And just like that, they have a weekly podcast that is the writer's room. That's what all the stuff that they behind the scenes on the episode. Totally fascinating. So I think it's kind of like podcasting and blogging are the same in that you're like picking a topic to me and then like expanding on it on your show / used to be your blog post, where TikTok is short form entertainment, which to me, I don't think they'll replace or exchange each other.
Yeah. I think that it takes more effort to do a podcast than to do a blog. I mean,
That's because you haven't written a blog post in a while.
Well, yeah, but a blog, the sweet spot for a blog post is 500 to 700 words, right? I mean, it's something
Not
like
anymore.
that.
Now it's like
What,
3,000
longer?
words.
How much?
3,000.
Forget it.
3,000.
No, 3,000 words is bullshit. Nobody reads the whole thing then. 3,000 words?
Yep.
No, nobody reads 3,000.
So in the comments, do you guys read a 3,000 word? But see, our audience is pretty smart, and they are readers, I have a feeling, and so I bet they consume long blog posts. But let us know in the comments.
That would be like saying you should listen to a 1-hour podcast. Oh yeah, our podcast is an hour.
And read the transcript.
So Jonathan says this. He goes, he's failing at forging a path. He says, my industry is stuck in Act 2 of the story, and I'm trying to get them to jump to Act 3, and it feels hopeless. The hard part of forging a path is you can't really ask how to get there. You're the first. Very, very true.
Yeah. Yep, that's
Jonathan,
true.
what industry do you mean? Jonathan, what industry? Let's help Jonathan. He's always watching our show. Jonathan, what industry is it? And can we help get you to 2 to 3?
Right. And this is a good point because I didn't think about this. This is kind of American thing we say. What does blaze a trail mean? Amon asked that question. What does that mean?
I would say it stems from the Westerns.
Yeah.
Let's go back to John Wayne, even though can we still mention John Wayne? Anyway, you're blazing a trail. You are on the Oregon Trail. You want to go to California, but it doesn't exist. So you have to make the trail. There's no path. There's nothing. You have to figure out everything to get from, I don't know, Massachusetts to California and every challenge along the way. Some people made it. Some people didn't.
Right.
Yeah.
Some people got stuck at Donner Pass. Some people
eating each other.
Yep.
Boy, we went dark really quick there, didn't we?
What do you mean? We're 10 minutes into it before we got dark.
It's a record.
For some reason, I think the Donner Pass is hysterical. I know that's not nice, but
we're gonna take a lot of shit for that, man.
sorry. I'm sorry, but
Oh my God.
There's jokes in there.
Peg
No, but
would be like
what was
eating a
that
thigh
trailer
bone going,
for? Sorry,
Oh
Justin.
man, we're gonna get people are gonna say, "Oh, you guys think cannibalism is funny, huh?" So my ancestor
never.
was a Donner Pass.
Yeah.
Well,
All
that's
My
right.
it.
ancestor was
We're gonna
John
have to
Wayne,
issue. We're gonna
unfortunately.
have to. We're gonna. We're gonna be like Joe Rogan. We have to issue an apology for
Oh,
fostering
Okay, sorry,
incorrect
cannibal.
info.
sorry.
Obviously, I don't advocate that. And I mean it like in a Willy Wonka. It's frowned upon in some
Right.
societies. Like, you
Cannibalism really
know.
disagrees with me. That's sorry. I just had to go there. Um, all right. Next question.
Just
What
remember,
leaders do you?
Peg started that path.
That's
Okay,
right.
not me.
And it's
Just
right.
let's have the record straight.
It's usually the other way. But what leaders do you
Exactly.
think are trailblazers? So, trailblazing, we kind of defined what it was. First out there, cutting your own path. We'd always like when you go on a ski slope, cutting your own path. You like going where no other skier's gone before down the hill. It is, and I just stick there on the side. But what leaders do you think are trailblazers? So, Guy, what would you say? I mean, a lot of them are on the podcast, but what would you say is a trailblazer that comes to mind for a leader when you think about it?
Well, if you have to be alive or a live one, you have to say Elon Musk for sure.
Mm-hmm. Peg, what about you?
I think Richard Branson is a trailblazer. And then I would say Hugh Howey because he really kind of did things that writers hadn't done before so successfully. And his success keeps snowballing as he's writing scripts and making pitches. And he's moved from this guy that worked at a bookstore that wanted to write a book to living his dream of writing, sailing the world. And then now he's pitching movies and working on, in Hollywood. I think, wow. That's
pretty
blazing
cool.
trail.
Yeah, mine would be. I just finished a book by Bob Iger, which I think is really fascinating with all the IP.
Disney.
Yeah, that he just retired and all the acquisitions. He got Marvel, he got Pixar, he got all this stuff, and there's a really interesting chapter in his book where he talks about his friendship with Steve Jobs and how he had to pursue Pixar. That's another trailblazer. I would say Pixar. I read Creativity Inc., which is a great book about those. Ed Catmull, who was one of the founders of Pixar, just really, and how he wrangles creative people, which is a chore, and it's really interesting. So I think those are all trailblazers. I think we've all mentioned here. So let us know.
Walt Disney, of course, is not alive anymore, but he was an amazing trailblazer. Just he wanted to do something that wasn't done, and he wanted to be hand drawn, even though it would cost more, take more everything, and he did it.
And he failed a long time. He wasn't really successful till like his 40s and 50s. I mean, so he stuck with it.
I just got a notice that my Carhartt jacket shipped from Amazon. I'm so happy.
I thought you had to mow to actually get on a mower to get a Carhartt shirt. There's like a thing that they make you do that.
I have a UTV. Excuse me. I have a UTV. I've decided to support Carhartt because they have continued to enforce the vaccination requirement for their employees, and so a lot of people are calling for a boycott of Carhartt. So I'm going the opposite. I'm buying stuff from Carhartt that I really don't need. So that means
Carhartt
that
had such a loyal following. They're like Harley Davidson. Like there's kind of no replacement for Carhartt stuff if you're a Carhartt person. So I don't think that their boycott is gonna.
So did you get it for your lawn, Guy? Are you wearing it, Guy?
Think boycotts work, huh?
I said, did you get it for your lawn, Guy, or are you wearing it?
I'm wearing it.
Okay.
I'm wearing it.
Okay.
I'm going to be a Carhartt kind of guy. Well, it just like fits in with my whole Yellowstone persona.
There we go. That's the real reason right there.
Are you John Dutton fans?
I've watched a couple episodes.
And you don't like it?
Yet.
Oh, Peg, it is a deep, dark hole, man. I spend 2 or 3 hours a day watching Yellowstone. I spend more time watching Yellowstone than podcasting.
Oh no! Don't. There's a lot of seasons, Peg. We're in trouble.
I like to watch comedies. Honestly, I just need some light. I need some I wish I hadn't watched Ted Lasso so I could watch Ted Lasso and never have seen it again. I just like stuff that makes me laugh.
You should watch C-SPAN. There's a lot of funny stuff on C-SPAN.
So we have some people who chimed in on Trailblazers and Edison. He's dead,
Yeah.
but yeah, he would be definitely one. Reed Hastings and Mark Randolph is who Jonathan says. So yeah, so those are all good
He
ones.
said that on LinkedIn.
You know,
I would say Bob Fosse, but honestly, speaking of things that weren't funny, the Bob Fosse special that was out, I just watched that documentary. That was dark. And he's somebody who, like, once I learned more about his life, did not make me like his art more. But
what
his
was dark
style of
about
dance,
him?
pardon me?
What was dark about him? What did he do?
He sexually harassed every
Oh,
dance girl that was ever in
of
the
course.
shows.
Yeah.
He was not good that way.
Mm.
But he was so talented and creative, but he had drug problems and he had a lot of issues, but his choreography was amazing.
So Guy had already answered this question, but our next question is, do you support companies that do business for good? Guy mentioned Carhartt. Peg, you've mentioned a couple in the past. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Patagonia?
Yeah, Allbirds is who I was going to say. Thank you for stealing mine, but yeah.
Our example for this is Salesforce, and I think I actually used Salesforce before as an example, not when Mark was on the show, but when I went to the Dreamforce conference, which is massively huge in San Francisco. It is the first and only event I ever attended that they gave every single person a reusable water bottle, and they had everywhere refillable like water.
No, we just lost Peg.
That you could refill.
Oh, she's back.
So there was. Did I just freeze?
You did.
Yeah,
you did.
You
Tell
did.
Rich to get off of Netflix.
Oh, man.
Oh, she just left.
Uh-oh.
Huh. Hopefully she'll be back. So
maybe the Amazon driver's at her door.
Oh, here she's coming. I hear she's ringing. Let me pull her back in here.
Huh.
There you are.
Huh.
Sorry.
That's weird.
You know, it's that brand new XLR mic. It sends so much more data. It's clogging up your pipe at your house.
My Wi-Fi just drops sometimes. But anyway, that is a really big deal that they did that at the Dreamforce conference. Like Mark looked at the fact that they have this huge event and then there would be water bottles. Like it takes over a really good part of downtown San Francisco, like blocks worth of people need to get fed. And it was crazy. And it was so good that they did that. I wish all conferences did that, make the investment. It gives people something with your name on it. And then just the fact that they had those little filter things there telling you what good you were doing by not getting, a soda or a drink that you were going to throw out packaging. It was huge. It saved a ton.
For Dreamforce, right? So there's 100,000 people. Let's assume they all drink one bottle a day, which is low. That's 100,000 plastic bottles entering the system per day just for that. So you're right.
Yeah. So it was huge and it was so smart. And it's looking at those things that, all these other big events could have thought of the same thing, but nobody has. And it should just be reproduced everywhere. So yeah, companies that do, let's see, other ones, Patagonia does good. Mm-hmm. There's different ways of doing good. There's like social good. And then there's like just ways that they're doing better, like sustainability practices. There's so many things in the US that we don't even think about, like solar power, wind power. I do some stuff for a German chemical company too, and they have geothermal heating. So all their heating for all of their facilities is done by the land. And then they have solar power, and like you could make your products more, easier to ship, lighter to ship. We switched away from glass because it was heavier to ship, and now we have all this plastic. It's like it's going to be hard to go back to other ways, but we still have to look at other things that there's so many. I'm glad I'm not in shipping and logistics these days because that's a nightmare.
Well, the thing too is you have to have it's just not doing good, but it's also have to be a good product. Like if Allbirds pinched my feet, I wouldn't buy them, but they're so comfortable, and it's like an added bonus of getting something really, really good.
Yep.
So I haven't. Ben from over on YouTube says Everlane. I don't know what that is. I don't know what.
I think that's a company that does clothes.
Okay. Let's see. Jonathan says Costco, Ford, and Patagonia. So Ford, Jonathan, why do you like Ford so much? Is it because of their new e-vehicles? Why? What's
what's Costco do?
Yeah. Let us know the
Oh,
reasons why.
Everlane is great. They show the true cost behind their products from labor to materials and
Oh, cool.
transportation. So
Huh.
they are very sustainable. And then they make great things at best factories without markups. So that is who I thought they were. Good one,
Very
Ben.
cool. Yeah, we'll have to check that out. So our next question is: have you heard of the pledge, the 100% movement?
1%.
1%. What did I say? 100%. 1%.
It's a
Sorry.
lot more. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm pledging is 100% of all my.
Wait,
You're
I,
going to
I think
volunteer
you,
100%.
I think you conflated here something because that pledge movement is to pledge, quote, the majority of your
No,
estate.
he has different
No?
ones. So that is one.
Oh,
He's in the
okay.
giving pledge. But the 1% movement is companies that are giving away 1% of their resources to volunteerism or they're
Oh,
donating.
okay.
So
Which is a Salesforce
he has a
invention.
1-to-1-to-1, and then he also is part of the giving pledge, which is so
Okay.
the 1% movement is, Salesforce employees can volunteer their time, and then all that time is added up towards Salesforce saying we're giving 1% of our people resources to help volunteer, agencies that need help or reading at schools, or like they don't tell you exactly what you have to do, but you could volunteer however you want. And it's counted as like part of your work.
Ah,
Very cool.
so you and Jeff can go do that and do go do 2%, and then I won't have to. And then
That's
Wow.
right.
I actually do need to find something to volunteer for because I have in the past done a lot of volunteering stuff like Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts. I've done things at my kids' schools. I've done things with like all different things.
It's really hard with the pandemic.
It is.
yeah,
because
how do
a
you
lot of
do
that
that
stuff is
anymore?
face to face,
Mhm.
because I've done stuff at a homeless shelter here around town and some other stuff, and it's just really hard when you're not trying to get sick and and then they
Right.
need help, and so I think it's really tough for a lot of people. A lot of nonprofits are
It is.
struggling. So,
Yep.
so Jonathan clarified for us. He said Ford didn't take money from the bailout in 2009.
Ah,
So
that's
that's really
interesting.
cool. And
Yeah.
he says Costco maintains a livable wage for its employees and makes it a point to avoid layoffs during the last recession. So
Nice.
thank
Yep.
you. Thanks, Jonathan, for
And
that.
and they have great hot dogs I don't know. Isn't there they had like a hot dog soda combination for
Oh,
like
oh,
$2 or something, right? Some unbelievable number.
We don't have Costco.
we don't
You
either. We have
don't?
Sam's. Sam's has good hot dogs.
You don't have Costco?
Nope.
Holy cow. How do you
Sam.
live? Huh.
Go to Target.
Yeah. So our final question is, and this will be a good one. What apps do you use to run your business or your career on your phone?
Well, this is because Mark says he runs Salesforce on his phone, right?
Right.
Mark
Mm.
says he runs his whole entire business without a computer, which is crazy.
Which I don't know what he talked on the podcast, but we fixed that.
Except for that one day.
Yeah. No, but if you guys, it's a really good episode. So I'm not trying to down it any, but it was funny that we did have to do some work on that one. So
Yeah, sound wise.
Because of his microphone.
Yeah.
And actually, you could make the case that because of Marc Benioff's lousy microphone, we decided to buy in bulk headset microphones, and we now give them to every speaker in advance, no matter who they are, because I have noticed that the more famous and remarkable you are, the less likely you are to have good audio equipment.
Which explains why I am not famous. I have great equipment.
Yeah, we have the best.
Right. So, Jane Goodall has lousy equipment. I can tell you that.
But we
She's
make
not
it work,
bad.
and it's a really good interview. I mean, it really, really, really is.
Yeah.
But so Peg, I know you have a ton of these. But Guy first, I'm going to go with Guy first because what apps could you not live without, Guy, to run your business?
On my phone, though, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, I have to tell you guys, I mean, in a rare moment of honesty, the phone is not the center of my universe. It's my computer because I record using Squadcast, which is in a desktop browser, and I edit using Descript, which is a Macintosh app. And those are the two things that are core to my existence for podcasting. And podcasting is core to my existence. So if you're core to my core, you're core.
We had a lot of people who have
Incorrigible.
who gosh, dad jokes all over. April goes Canva. A lot of people are saying Canva. There's more than one person.
You
said
rock, April. You rock.
Jonathan says Trello, Outlook, G Suite, and Canva.
There you go.
Teresa says QuickBooks. Yeah, you have to make some money,
QuickBooks.
and that's
Man.
one. And QuickBooks has some really cool features now where you can like scan your like when you're out at a restaurant, you can scan your receipts right there, and it goes pretty slick. I would agree with that one.
Yeah.
Jonathan,
That's what I saw yesterday, Guy. That was something that we used to use all the time, and we actually visited their offices, and then we stopped using them because I think we went into Dropbox more. But Evernote is still around.
I still use Evernote.
I use Evernote.
Yeah,
You still use Evernote? Does
Absolutely.
anybody still use Evernote? I used to love Evernote, and then I don't know if Trello took it over for me or.
Rome Research took it over for me. That's the one I've talked about before. It's that one where you can tag and move everything around. So, and it's got a phone app.
So you don't use Evernote anymore?
I still have it and pay for it because I have so much stuff on it. But most of the time, I'm going to Rome Research.
Well, Evernote and Dropbox should combine into one. That's for one thing.
I wish iOS would.
Dropbox a little more user friendly
For iOS
we have
especially.
so much stuff in there, but it's still like clunky.
Yeah, I agree. iOS, I think, would be great. Jonathan also said Monday.com and HubSpot for the Academy. So I didn't know HubSpot had a app that a lot of people
What
use.
is Monday?
It's
Trello
like
thing.
Yeah, it's a Trello, but it's organization. It's like Asana or some of those other ones. So
Trello is my biggest go-to on my phone for work stuff because everything is in there. I'm
I have
always
it open.
order, checking what I need to tell someone else I need. Do I have this? Do I have that? Do I have the other thing?
That's when I don't use it on the phone as much, but I have a tab that's always it's open right now. It's remarkable.
Really?
Yeah, it's always open.
Do you use the Mac app though? The Mac app is the best.
I like it in a just in my thing because I can flip a tab over really quick. So
correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Trello owned by Atlassian?
Yep.
And Atlassian is another Sydney company like Canva. So the center of the tech world is Sydney, Australia.
It is now.
get in there.
Cliff is like, yes.
But the center of the podcasting world is, where do you live? Lone Star, Texas, or
Longview.
Texas?
Longview.
Longview.
Longview,
I knew it was one of those L words. Yeah.
Yeah, east of Dallas.
Longview, Texas. East of Dallas?
Yeah, east of Dallas. We're actually closer to Shreveport, Louisiana. So I get Tex-Mex food and Cajun, which is really good.
Wow.
That's why.
Bound and down. Remember that one? Eastbound and down.
Yeah, that's a great song. Yeah, that's Dirk Bentley, isn't it? Dirk.
I think it was
Wait.
actually.
How
No,
far are
no,
you
you're right. It was gosh.
It was a show in the 70s.
Yeah, it's a 70s show that he.
How far are you from DFW?
About 2 hours.
Oh, that's not so far.
No, that's where we usually fly out of. We go there and do a park, sleep, fly, and then just take off. Because if you lose the flight out of Longview, because we do have an airport, then you're screwed because there's only like 2 flights. Yeah. All righty. Oh, so let's see. Any more questions? Let's see. Ben says this. He's talking about back to the Trailblazers and inventors have an interesting relationship. Trailblazers use the work of inventors.
Alan Kay, yeah. Xerox
so-
Park.
Yeah. So very, very true.
If only Xerox Park could have squeezed the trigger on, bringing a personal computer to market. But I think Xerox Park, their problem was they thought they were a business. Their customers were only businesses and xerography, i.e. copying, as opposed to computing. So they had it, man. They had Xerox Park had it
Kodak
first.
too. Xerox and Kodak are both based in Rochester, New York. So that economy is where I'm from. So that's like that, like it's a little stab to my heart. Like they were so close. I mean, Kodak ruled photography for a long time, but then
Yeah.
obviously we know what happened. The
And
digital camera came and they didn't hop on that. So
I hope that people realize that an engineer in 1975 at Kodak invented digital photography. Can you imagine that? Can you?
And they
Well, first of
passed.
all, there's lots of things to think of, right? So can you imagine that guy going to his boss saying, "Hey, I figured out a way people don't have to buy film. Make me a hero." That's number one. And then, but this is just a lesson in innovation that you should focus on what people are getting from you, i.e., the preservation of memories. And if you're in the preservation of memories business, whether it is from film or digital, doesn't matter. So you're in the preservation of memories business, Kodak, not the film business.
yeah, my grandfather actually worked in research and development at Kodak when it
Really?
happened. So I wish I could ask him about that. But also, my mom was dating somebody who worked in there, like this, they're totally separate. And we went to his house, and he had this thing on his refrigerator, and it was a circle, and it had a hole in the middle
Wait,
of it, and it was like shiny, and it was a
wait,
CD.
wait, wait, wait. Chronologically, I don't understand that. You were born and went with your mother to someone he was dating at Kodak?
My grandfather worked at Kodak his whole career. He started in research and
Oh,
development. He was a chemist. So he worked there his whole entire career. Every single
oh,
second of it, he worked in research and development at Kodak. But then at
oh.
one point, my mom in this mid 70s had a boyfriend that also worked there. And he was like a hippie, which was hysterical because if you knew, my mom was a teacher, so but he was probably on that team that invented the digital camera is what I'm saying, because he was in the like hip younger cool guy section, I
Mm,
think.
Eastman Kodak had a huge plant here in Longview. It's actually called something else now,
Really?
but it was a big chemical plant here. Yeah.
Yeah,
hmm.
it makes me sad. It makes me sad. Like the whole building is gone. I mean, they still are doing some stuff, but it's not the same.
So I read an article recently about like what's next, the new apps, the new tech on the horizon. Like we talked about digital photography, and Guy talked about like, okay, organizing memories is going to be huge, and how everybody has a gazillion photos now. Where
Mhm.
those live, how do we get them? They said the next movement they're seeing, I can't remember who said it, what article it was, but was that we're going to have, with everybody working from home, this hybrid things, this four day at the office thing that's
Mhm.
where the new tech is going to be coming, like the next Zoom. And so I'm really interested to see what you guys think about that. You think that's the next big bang instead of this metaverse stuff, or is it?
What, a 4-day work week?
Well, just like the tech that
I'm
makes
on
that
board.
happens. Like, because they said it's really going to be, there's a huge market now for how to work at home better. Like, how do you
Right.
do that? What's going to be the next Zoom kind of a thing?
Well,
Right.
I gotta say that um, Facebook sent us Oculuses, right? And oh my God, my kids love it. I mean, holy cow, Peg, you got to tell Facebook we need some more. Oh, because otherwise I won't have one to do
Way
the
to buy
conference
them,
with.
you think?
No, it's not the money, it's the challenge of shaking down Facebook. I'm putting you on that project.
Meta,
So,
meta.
Uh-uh.
but so my son, he found a program to do graffiti. So he's doing graffiti digitally, which is a hell of a lot better than doing it, in real life, let's just say. So yeah, um, the
That's
metaverse, Oculus is a winner. Oh, I
It is.
and I never would have said that.
You haven't even tried the meetings yet because it's
Yeah.
Well,
actually really cool. Jeff and I did a short one. It's better than Zoom. Like you're sitting there and it feels like you're
yeah,
in the room. Did you make your avatar guy?
uh, my Noemi made it. My daughter made it.
Did she make you?
I don't know. I guess I should look. I mean,
I saw that, and
No,
so I
no,
friended you over
we're
on
meeting
Oculus.
on
Yeah,
Facebook and it's going to be your daughter. They're going to be like, who's this?
but like you can.
oh, okay. A related funny story, right? So this graffiti program, you're actually doing graffiti with other people. And so my son doesn't have an account, so he signs in as Guy Kawasaki. So now I'm getting a reputation as a graffiti artist, and it's like, there's a nickname. Hey, GK, how you doing, man? I'm gonna go spray the wall together, and they don't know it's not me.
That's funny.
So, wait, what happened to Jeff?
I don't know.
We lost. Oh, there he is.
Sorry, I unplugged. I rolled. I was so excited about you talking about Oculus that I rolled over my cord and unplugged my headset.
Yeah, Duff's been actually on it the longest, so he is the most experienced of our team. But I have used mine every day since they sent it. It is
What?
very cool.
And what do you do with it? You like design
I
persons?
I do the Supernatural app, which is workout. I do
Wait,
oh,
what?
I love
So, wait, what do you mean? Are you like doing, burpees with it? What do you
Oh,
do?
it's
With it?
you'll
hard,
be
yeah.
you'll be
If you have
sweating.
like laser swords and you're like
Really?
yeah, you're like dancing and stuff
Shit,
and
Squatting and everything.
that's in my DNA, that sort stuff. So it's called
fun.
Supernatural?
You got to play Beat Saber, guy. That's the thing too. That's
That's a little bit more disco-y though. Like what I like about Supernatural is you're like out in the middle of like they put you out somewhere great. You're like in a great environment, and then it's like just you and the teacher and music, and you're hitting all the targets.
Is it like
Um,
taiko?
like what?
There must be a taiko. You know what taiko is? You're from New
Nope.
Hampshire. You never heard of taiko? Look at the guy from Texas.
Talking
The guy
about
from
taekwondo?
No, taiko.
Nope.
Taiko.
Nope.
It's the Japanese drummer thing.
Oh yeah.
oh yeah, okay,
know
yeah,
that.
okay. I know what you're talking about now.
I don't know if there's
There
a
must be
drum.
a
They're
taiko
fun.
Oculus app.
They
There
do
has-
have a bunch of like virtual instruments. A new air guitar thing came out just recently.
I'll have to check
But
out
the
instruments.
but Peg's we're talking about like the next version of stuff, and Peg mentioned workrooms, which it really is almost like I don't like to get in these spaces because it's so real. It's freaky, like because you're like, what are
You
these
don't know
people
what's
doing
wrong.
too close to me? Yes, back off,
Yeah.
dude. But
Huh.
like I could be and they have a pass through, so I can see my keyboard and type, and my screen's up
Yeah.
there. I can go up and write on a whiteboard with Peg there, and she can share her screen on there. It's amazing, the stuff.
I
It's
have
the
to
next Zoom.
figure out how to get the posters I made into our workroom.
Yeah, you can have your own logo up there, all sorts of cool
Really?
stuff. Yeah.
And what
I mean-
app is this?
It's called Horizons Workrooms.
That's
Right.
one of the ones we're supposed to be working on, Horizons Workroom and Horizon World. Horizon Worlds is the one where you go and there's other people that you don't know. So that one's like someone can walk up to you and be like, hey, and then I would be like, "Pew," like bouncing out of there.
And there's events. There's another, I think it's Horizons Events or something where you can go and watch like sports games. I've watched a couple times the SpaceX launch before, which is really, really cool. And so there's all sorts of new stuff that's coming. You can actually go see 3D movies now in an app called Big Screen, and you can rent them
Jeez.
and watch them. Yeah, it's amazing.
You can do your
Just-
Netflix account in there. I haven't signed that in yet.
I've done it. It's pretty fun.
What? I mean, I can watch like Yellowstone
In a
Oculus?
huge Oculus thing. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. You haven't watched a 3D movie until you've watched
There
it in
goes-
Oculus.
I will never edit again.
Oh, great.
Jeff will be happy.
Just do Tarazi before you pick it up.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, exactly. The thing is, though, is if you like 3D movies, you have to wear those dark glasses, which makes
Yeah.
the movie dark. In Oculus, you don't. It's just amazing. So
Ah. The 3D glasses are part of the fun now.
yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Well,
Anyway, so by the way,
That's
if you want to geek out with stuff about this, make sure you join the Remarkable People community. We don't just talk about weird things like Meta, but we also talk about the podcast and some guests that are in there, and like we talked about today, the Trailblazers. Who's your favorite Trailblazer? So make sure you guys go to bit.ly/Remarkable People Circle, sign up for the community as well, and don't forget to go to remarkablepeople.com and download this episode. Follow us over there. Leave us a rating and review. You can actually do that by holding up your smartphone and just clicking on this QR code, and bam, you're there. You can leave us a rating and review. We'd really appreciate it, and let us know what you think of this week's episode.
right.
There we go. Good
So-
promo. I blew them all away. They're all like stunned.
Jesus. Shit, I want to sign up.
That'd be good if Guy would sign up. That would be a good thing. So,
Well,
thanks,
should we
Ben.
wrap?
Ben says, appreciate all of you. Ben, we appreciate you and your questions. thank you guys for showing up today and for all your comments. Guy, you want to?
Yeah.
Last
So
words?
today's episode is the Marc Benioff, founder of Salesforce, former Apple intern for me. And you will learn about philanthropy. You will learn about entrepreneurship. You will learn about why you should be nice to your intern, which is why I am always nice to interns going forward. And someday Madison Nismer is going to be worth $10 billion, Jeff and Peg, and we're going to say, God, we knew she would be that successful. And she's going to buy us all cars, electric cars, though.
Should
Right?
you go, who are you again?
So Marc Benioff, truly an inspiration, truly the man. What a great episode. Just, I wish I could tell you that, quote unquote, I knew he would be this successful, but I didn't. See, if Peg were around back then, she would have picked him out.
I totally would have.
That's
I would
right.
have been like, Mark, you can sit closer to the odd wall of juices that you're so fond of. Let me get you one and write some more code for me.
Because Peg knows everything. PKE. Peg knows everything.
does.
I don't know everything, but I make a good call every once in a while.
Well, you only have to make one of those every 7 years. That's good enough for me.
Or one really, really good one.
Yeah.
One for life.
I.e. Canva.
Yeah.
Just that
That
one.
that was like Peg is the Tom Brady, although he just lost, but
Do I
Peg
want
is
to be the Tom Brady? I think Rich hates Tom Brady.
oh, but
Better not.
He is the
but
best.
he always makes the right call.
It's true,
Well,
but Rich is a
until
Buffalo
last-
Bills fan, so and he hates the Patriots. So he's like the only one in New England who's
He's
not rooting
in
for the
Tampa Bay right now.
Yeah, I know, but still,
Still.
you could not live in New England all this time and not hear about Tom Brady. Tom Brady's the OG. He is a GOAT. He is one of the best athletes of all time. People just love to hate him. So
Try
Yeah.
being in
Really
Texas and not being a
develop.
Cowboys fan. Oh my gosh.
yeah,
Yeah, I feel Rich's pain. So,
Yep.
all right, we'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching. Talk to you later.
Bye.
everybody.